Hi there, and thank you for joining me today, where I'm going to be discussing how we cope emotionally with this new thing that's been discussed, the new norm. In preparation for the new norm, I had actually thought about doing this video outside. I was going to do it outside to kind of show the difference that we're going outside. But then I remember that a couple of days ago, which you might have seen, I did a video for my website and was totally upstaged by next door's cockerel, whom I've named Arnold. But that's another story. Yes, if you haven't seen it, it's really quite funny. So anyway, that's just by the by. Good morning, Daniela from Italy. Buongiorno, come sta? So coping with the new norm. So as many countries start to look at easing their lockdown situations and regulations and rules, I began to think about how this is going to impact on people emotionally. I can base it on how I feel, but I can also base it on how a lot of people have told me they may be feeling about the forthcoming changes that are going to start for some countries as soon as tomorrow. So this is not about the whys or wherefores or whether we should or we shouldn't ease the restrictions. I think we understand why countries feel they need to do that. But let's look at how it affects us all personally, because with regard to this, I suspect because we've been given very firm boundaries about what we can and can't do, that's felt quite safe for a lot of people for quite a while now, because in some countries, I mean, for Italy, I think it's been, and I'm sure Daniela can tell me, it's been 2 or 3 months. It's a long, long time they've been in lockdown. And also for Spain and France, they have equally had a long time where they've had to really stick within very strict boundaries. The UK as well. And of course, all the governments are very aware of how this is affecting everyone financially, globally, and obviously also emotionally. Well, my department is the emotions. So how do you feel about the restrictions easing a bit? How do you feel about being allowed to go out more often, to go to retail outlets which are classed as non-essential? How do you feel about that? Because I know personally, for my situation, I'm still in the age group which has to kind of adhere to certain quite strict rules and regulations about going out. Basically, I'm not going to be going out. And actually, that's fine for me. But where my anxiety levels start to increase is the fact that there is going to be more people going out and about their business in the general kind of, area. And that concerns me because with, say, deliveries coming to the house, what worries me is that, Danielle has just told me from the 9th of March, Italy was in lockdown. So that's a long time. That's like 9th of March. That's nearly 2 months. That's a long time. So, yes, anxiety. Because I have a feeling that as these restrictions ease, there's going to be a lot more anxiety. I think some people will be relieved and will just desperately want to get back to their normal lives, start traveling. But obviously that's not going to happen for a while, because I think, as we've seen, these lockdowns are going to be quite gradual, the easing of these lockdowns are going to be gradual. I think the interesting thing also is the choice of words, because some people call it social distancing, some people call it isolating, some people call it quarantine, some people call it lockdown. Either way, we're all having to stay within the boundaries that have been personally given to us. So, Yes, so let's look at the anxiety side of this, because I suspect that as everything eases, people are going to start thinking, how safe is it now to go out? Because up until recently, it's probably felt safer to go out for a walk because we know the boundaries within which we can operate. But there'll be more people around, and everybody has a different set of ideas and rules about how things should work. So what does that mean? Because I will have my own inner set of rules about how people should behave, and they should stick to the rules and do it by the book. And other people like to bend the rules. And the thing is with our rule books, our own inner rule books, is they're all different. And that's okay, because I think where we have to kind of give a little bit of understanding to is that everyone does have their own different way of doing things. And whereas I may have my rules that say you shouldn't do this, it doesn't mean I'm right or that I'm wrong. It's just different from maybe your set of rules. So I suppose what I'm saying is I want people to give each other a little bit of slack, to understand that, you know, we do all respond differently. And that's another thing. It's about responding to these situations and not reacting. There will probably be a lot of knee-jerk reactions from people about other people who they think are not doing it the right way. Now, those people that aren't, in your terms, doing it the right way, think they are doing it the right way. And as I said, it doesn't make them wrong or right. Let's leave that to the authorities to decide whether they're right or wrong. So I think it's about, and I know I'm touching my face, I've got an itch. I think it's about just trying to, as I say, give each other a little bit of slack. And also, the other thing is, I want to try and put across how to tell the difference between a gut and an intuitive feeling that something isn't right for one to do, and fear-based kind of paranoia, because the two are quite different. Because if we're fearful, let's take a big shopping outlet. I have a personal fear about going to the larger shopping outlets because I'm fearful because they have more people going to them. Therefore, in my view, there's more risk of maybe picking up something serious like the virus. Whereas other people may not think about that, because they may say, yes, but the restrictions are so good, and the hand hygiene, and the allowance of how many people go into the store, etc., etc. So what I would have to do as an individual is decide for myself, is that my fear and paranoia, or is it a gut feeling that it's just too soon for me? So I think the difference between paranoia, fear, and gut instinct feeling is that when it's a gut instinct feeling, it's just that you just know. You don't actually feel fearful. You actually know, no, this is not right for me. And that's what I want to say. If it doesn't feel right for you, don't do it. And don't let anyone push you into something that you're not ready to do. Because we all react and respond to these situations in very different ways and at different speeds. Some people will be desperate to get out there and just have everything back to normal, whatever normal is, because the no normal, the normal that we've been experiencing, which is not normal, is kind of outside their comfort zone. It's outside all of our comfort zones, but actually we have made it into a comfort zone. It's like when you hear therapists talking about, you know, you have to go to your safe place, you know, where is your safe place, or your safe room in the house, or whatever it is, or my safe word, or my safe, you know, whatever it is. And so our homes, and probably even just one area of our homes, have become that safe place, that safe area. So suddenly we're going to be actually venturing out of our safe areas. And that's going to feel different for everybody. As I said, some people will be just desperate to get out there. And some people are just going to say, whoa, this is too fast for me. I'll just do it at my own speed, at my own pace. And that's where it comes back to, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, about bullying. Don't allow yourself to be pushed into doing things that you're not ready to do. If it doesn't feel right for you, I can't emphasize this enough. Don't do it, because it will actually increase your anxiety. If we start doing things before we are ready in here to do it, then if we start doing it before we're ready, we actually increase our anxiety. And this will show with panic attacks. We'll notice perhaps our heart rate goes up. We start getting, hot. Our breathing is not so good. And take that as a sign to yourself, a little kind of warning symptom from your body saying, no, this is too soon for me. I need to do this in my own time, in my own space. I just think that's really incredibly important to be aware of. And also, as I said, sometimes I think we can do things to be to not let people think that we're maybe a little bit reluctant or scared to go out and, say, meet them in a public area at a distance to, I don't know, have a walk or a chat or a coffee or whatever it is. And don't allow yourself to be to feel that you have to do these things before you're ready. Everybody has to set their own pace. And in that way, I think every country is setting its own kind of speed and pace for this. And it's all trial and error because, none of our generation have really been here before. So we don't really know what we're dealing with and how we're all going to react. And we're not going to know whether we've done it in the best way or not till a long time in the future when we can look back and reflect on that. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you need to talk about it more in a one-to-one or more personally, please ask me. I'm only too happy to hear your difficulties with this situation and maybe help you just get a balance on your own fears and anxieties about it. And as I said, just take it easy and be kind to each other. No one really knows what's going to come of this. And I think the next few weeks, as all of the countries start to ease their lockdowns, is going to increase fear because it's an unknown quantity and we're not quite sure whether this virus, the spike or the upward graph will suddenly go from down to start rising again. And so, do what you're comfortable with. Just take it easy. And thankfully, Arnold, the cockerel from next door, has not interrupted me too much today. And thank you to the farm next door, because actually I thoroughly enjoy watching all the birds and the ducks and the ducklings. It really is absolutely wonderful. They've all got individual names, which of course, is partly how I pass some of my time whilst I've been confined to my safe place. So anyway, enough of that. Enjoy the day. Take it easy, and I'm here if you would like me to help you with anything. Okay, then, thanks so much for coming and being with me today, and I really wish you the best, and God bless.